Welcome to the Freo Doctor Uncensored, with me, your host Maria Vusic, where unedited conversations ride on the cleansing breeze of the Freo Doctor.
Hello Fremantle, another city asset to be sold off. Victoria Hall is up for sale again. Fremantle had over 30 music halls and theatres, and now there is only one left, Victoria Hall. The tender process is closed. The identity of the 6 bidders for our precious Victoria Hall are confidential, but there is scuttlebutt on High Street that has the price ranging from $1 million to $3 million. It is worrying that the sales process apparently has removed the heritage caveats previously included in the 2019 sales attempt. Let us revisit a video made in 2019 featuring Brad Pettit. He is positive and upbeat in his marketing of the benefits of King's Square redevelopment project, particularly for Victoria Hall.
Fremantle at the end of the 19th century was thriving. The gold rush had begun and the state's population tripled in less than 10 years. Icons of Fremantle were being constructed, including Victoria Hall. Before he became a decorated World War I general, architect Talbot Holt designed some of Fremantle's most famous buildings. Built as a parish hall by the Anglican Church in 1897, Victoria Hall served as a meeting place, a dance hall, community social centre and a concert venue in its 121-year life. The Happy Hour Club held dances here in the 1930s, and the Wrightsons had their dance studio here after the Second World War. It was home of the Deck Chair Theatre and more recently the Fly-By Night Club, hosted musicians from across the country and all around the world. Threatened by bulldozers many times since the car revolution in the 1960s, Victoria Hall was saved by the passionate Fremantle community that recognised the importance of one of the last remaining heritage buildings on the eastern side of King Square. And it's the $270 million redevelopment of King Square that's giving Victoria Hall a new lease on life. Just 50 metres away from Victoria Hall, King Square Renewal Project is driving the revitalisation of Fremantle City Centre. In addition to 1,500 new workers in the heart of Fremantle, a new hospitality and retail space, private residential development has for the first time in decades seen an inner-city population of Fremantle rise. The City of Fremantle purchased Victoria Hall in 1999, returning it to its original splendour. Our careful adherence to the Borough Charter has ensured the heritage of this beautiful building remain intact for another century. Victoria Hall has been an icon of Fremantle for 121 years, and now it's time for a new chapter in its storied life.
A lot has happened in 5 years since the video was made. Understanding the factors that led to this decision and the disconnect from the original goals of the redevelopment project is crucial in assessing what has gone wrong. The Honourable Brad Pettit served as Mayor of the city for 12 years, until his departure in April 2021. To run as a Green candidate for the state parliament. Prior to his election to parliament, Pettit played a significant role in the King's Square development project, alongside other current councillors such as Mayor Fitzhardinge, councillors Sullivan, Lang and Thompson during their respective election terms. The King's Square business plan was officially adopted by Council in 2013, marking the beginning of the financial challenges that ratepayers are currently struggling with. And in that same year, we saw the departure of Myer, which had a significant downturn in our retail loss and in our foot traffic into the city. To better understand why this asset is on the chopping block, we need to briefly revisit the financial background to the King Square project. At a council meeting in April 2022, I revealed that the total cost of the project was between 63 and 67 million, and not as 47 as reported. The audited financial statements came through and they confirmed that the total cost was 63 million. The 18 million overspend gap was financed by the sale of 3 additional car parks, Adelaide Street, Josephson Street and Point Street, for 7.8 million. And the state loan was increased from 15 million to 20 million over a 20-year period. The city was about $5 million short, which presumably was covered by the rates. The breakdown of our rates for the financial year 23-24 shows that our total operating budget is 91 million. Our rates make up 64% of the budget, and the trend is to continue unless there's an increase in our revenue income, or if the government comes in and supports Fremantle through grants and expenditure. The Civic Centre building continues to take from the ratepayers in additional costs since 2021. Without producing the 900,000 forecasted income that was shown in the King Square business plan. The King Square project at best was a gamble with the city's income, assets and heritage. The Honourable Brad Pettit's 12-year financial legacy to Fremantle has resulted in a downgrade of our basic services, the further depletion of our income-performing assets to be able to maintain a budget, and the pressure to sell our heritage assets. The Council agenda of the 24th of July is transparent as to why they want to sell Victoria Hall, and I quote, "The financial implication of the sale of 179 High Street will have a positive impact on the budget, and should Council agree to dispose of Victoria Hall, net proceeds from any sale are to be placed in the Town Hall Reserve for future restoration and upgrade work requirements." Now, financially linking a heritage sale to another crumbling heritage asset is just a poor outcome for the community. The Town Hall requires at least a significant $20 million investment to have any significant restoration of this crumbling asset. There is a better option for Victoria Hall. John Curtin College of the Arts is short of performing space, as is CBC. A long-term lease to any or both of these worthy schools would be a much better fit financially, morally and artistically. A much better option than the same tired-old formula of let's keep the facade and build 8 stories of apartments peppered with social housing. Has the Mayor and councillors done an opportunity cost on the loss of Victoria Hall to the community and future generations? I doubt it. Our Victoria Hall was built in the Gold Rush era. She provided a space for the suffragettes, comfort for our WW1 and 2 veterans, music and dance when times were really tough. She stood strong when threatened with the wrecking ball in the 1970s. And as the decades passed, Victoria Hall survived with dignity and grace and ready to serve another generation. The Fremantle Theatre Company currently leases the building. Kay Gerard, CEO and board member, attended last week's Fremantle Society's meeting to draw attention to the sale. She sums up beautifully the impact that the sale would have on performing artists.
So I'm the chair of the Fremantle Theatre Company, and we've been lucky to be the custodian of this venue for the last few years, and we're very proud to be, we have our home in Fremantle, so we're the Fremantle Theatre Company. Hopefully most of you are aware of us, but just in case you aren't, we've done a stack of productions over the last few years. Some of them have, we had Mary Stuart, we've had The Last Train to Freo, and a lot of people comment on our bus seats out in the foyer. 12th Night, The Dog and the Cat, so many great productions. I just wanted to sort of, I suppose, talk about what it's like to be a theatre company, because it's not easy. We're a small independent company. We have two, well, they're staff members, but they're actually unpaid staff members. We have a board of 6, and that's us, that's it. Recently we did a strategic plan. We looked at our mission, and the whole thing about being in Fremantle just came up all the time. We want to make Fremantle the art and cultural centre of Perth. I know that's a big ambition, but that's what we're trying to do. And one of the things we're trying to do is create exceptional theatre. We're trying to grow our audience and inspire people by what we're producing. And one of the things that is very strong with us is we're trying to invest in local talent. And we want to grow the cultural economy of Fremantle. So for those people that are in the arts, there's a lot of talk about mental health. There's a lot of talk about how the arts contribute to well-being. And we're very strong believers in that, and that's what we're trying to do. So one of the things that we look at is we look at our audience metrics, and we know for a fact that we are getting a lot of local residents and local and neighbouring residents come to our shows, but we're also attracting a lot of people from outside of this area. And when they come to Fremantle, they go next door for a drink, or they might go for a meal, they pay for parking, they do all that sort of stuff. And so really from a tourism and hospitality perspective, we're an important part of that. And so, again, that's what we're trying to achieve. We were nominated for 8 Performing Arts Awards last year for some of our exceptional theatre that we're trying to produce. And considering we're a young company, that's just outstanding. It's just fantastic. We're also just started a new program called the Indie Program, where we're trying to foster and mentor new production companies or new people to put on performances. We're really trying to do a lot with the youth.
The city's financial losses resulting from the redevelopment of King's Square are in the tens of millions of dollars. We have hit the financial law of diminishing returns. The sale of the asset will have minimal positive impact on the finances. However, the community losses are significant and irreplaceable. The council minutes are on the website, and on this particular motion of the sale of Victoria Hall, it authorises the CEO to continue going down the process, kicking the can down the road with now proponents 1, 3, 5 and 6, which means proponent 2 and 4 have already been kicked out of the process. Now, I'm not going to go through what the actual motion is, simply because it's rather wordy, and you'd have to read it carefully to get the real meaning of it. So I suggest you look at our link and have a look at it on their website. But this was a unanimous vote. It was a decision made by Mayor Fitzhardinge, Councillors Archibold, Sullivan, Williamson-Wong, Camarda, Lorva, Mofflin and Van Dawson. Nobody stood up for an alternative for Victoria Hall apart from a sale. So Victoria Hall is still up for sale and the can is being kicked down the road. What else can ratepayers and residents of Fremantle do? Well, if you do nothing else, go down to the New Edition bookshop in 41 High Street, Fremantle, and purchase this book. It's called Fighting for Fremantle. This is not the first battle that we have had as ordinary ratepayers and residents of Fremantle to save our heritage. We've had the 70s, the 80s and the 90s recorded in this book, which really sets out what was necessary to be done to be able to win this fight in saving our heritage. Fighting for Fremantle is your map, is the heritage that was saved. We need to draw our inspiration from this story, which is still in living memory. You will get to know the various people that saved our West End and some of our East End in the 70s, 80s and 90s. Now, what else can you do? Well, I have provided a link, and you can make sure that you email, you write, you telephone to your elected members and ask them to stop the sale. It's very important that we engage. Go to your council meetings. Use up your 3 minutes, even though the mayor gets really upset when she sees her ratepayers coming in to complain. But this is a worthy cause. The benchmark has been set for us by the Fremantle Society and by the very people who are the characters in this story fighting for Fremantle. The Fremantle fight is not over. The same things, the same items, the same lack of disregard for our heritage is present now and it was present 30 years ago. So please have a look at our link and make sure that you do something to further the cause in saving Victoria Hall. Now, one more thing before we leave this episode. I want you to go to the comments, leave your comment. Make sure that you hit the like button and then you subscribe so that we can keep providing more episodes of Freo Doctor Uncensored. See you in the next episode.